Good morning, traders. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're all doing well today. Let me know in the comments. How was your Monday? How's your week going so far? Let's jump over to the calendar. We'll see what we've got going on today. We do have 10 o'clock news. We've got the job openings, the JOLTS job openings at 10 o'clock. So we can anticipate some volatility to come into the market at that point. Righty. Then jumping over to NQ, we'll have a quick look at a NQ short that did play out during New York Open yesterday. I didn't take the position. I'll explain that as well, why I didn't take it. But for now, let's start here on the daily and see what we've got going on so far. So daily, still inside this daily bearish FVG. Price is struggling to push through this at the moment. We have a look. We had a bullish bias yesterday, but I did make it quite clear that I wanted to see previous day high swept, which is also previous week high. And then we would wait and see what happened from there. So we had exactly that. Price swept out previous week high and then started to move lower from that point. So that's still, in my opinion, our bias playing out. We still met our target. And then the idea is that we pivot from there, watching to see what price does at the high. So for today, at the moment, we have swept previous day high as ES. ES is not. So we do have some SMT there currently. Something to keep an eye on. We are respecting the 50% level of the previous day's range at the moment. So that's my area of interest right now. So let's drop down to the hourly and see what the order flow is showing. We can see we've started to sort of drop a little bit on that bullish order flow. We've slowed down or rolled over a little bit here. So the level I'll be looking for is this level right here. That will be our bearish change in the state of delivery. If price is able to displace through this level. We do have that SMT. We've got equal highs on ES here, actually. And we've got a failure swing on NQ. So this, if this level here, if price respects this level, then I'm going to see something like this happen. Or we displace through and continue to move lower. Plenty of levels lower. If we were going to move lower, this would be an area I've been looking for to see if price wants to react from. We have an hourly swing point candle into a bullish FEG. So I'll be looking for something to react here if we do in fact come this low. For now, I am going to stay with the bullish bias until we see that change in order flow. We did get a swing point candle closure here on the 4 hour. We're still inside the Asia range if we look at the 7 hour candles. I'll be looking for the opposing candle here to be respected. Let's push back out to the daily, head over to ES. Oh, actually, we're going to look at that trade, weren't we? Let's drop down to the 5 minute. Throw it into replay quickly. There it is here. Here's it here. So here we had a 5 minute bearish trade setup. We were coming off the previous week high. So that was our point of interest, a beautiful point of interest. We had an inversion. There's also Pegasus. We had a single FEG on the leg that swept liquidity. And then we inverted that. We will go balanced price range here. Changes state of delivery. If you took your entry on the bottom of the breaker, the reason I didn't take this trade is because the session low, it was only a 1-to-1 trade. Even if I moved up to take the position of the change in state of delivery, it was still only a 1-to-1.19 trade. Okay, that's why I didn't take this position. It just wasn't meeting my risk rules, my risk management, so I decided to stay out. Price did in fact play out, and we discussed this trade on stream, and there were a couple of traders who took this position and were able to make profit from it, so well done. I think eventually we did reach 2R. There we go, yeah. Okay, so that was the position there. So it was a valid setup. All the criteria was met except for the risk management for me, which is why I didn't take that position. And that's the name of the game. We're going to stick to our rules. That's what's important. Get rid of replay mode. Here we go. So looking at ES, we're in this gap at the moment, struggling to push through this gap. We are respecting the 50% level of the previous day range. And on ES, which has been acting a little bit stronger, we do still have previous day high open. So there's potential here for ES to want to take that high. Let's move down to the hourly. Like NQ, I mean, what I like is smooth edges. If price stays below this level coming into the New York Open, then there's a clear draw of liquidity here. There's equal highs, smooth edges, and previous day high, obviously, right there. So like NQ, this is our validation or invalidation level. When we close through, we're looking for price to run lower. If we respect this level, we're unable to push lower. Potentially something like this to reach for the high. We're going to remain bullish for ES. Moving over to CL. Great call on the bias yesterday. But our bearish bias, and price did in fact move lower. We're coming out of this bearish FEG. Price is unable to move out of that. So if we move down to the hourly, we're still in that bearish order flow. Nothing here at the moment to say that we're going to turn around, in my opinion. We are still respecting bearish PD arrays into this hourly bullish FEG. So this is quite a large bullish FEG. So this will cause a little bit of resistance here. Now, I just want to run out the standard deviations from this high to the low, see where we're at. So we've reached our target area. We've finally got to close through that level, and we reacted straight off that level as well with a great little bearish move. Seller's wick here. Our target is -4. In fact, I'll be looking for this low as our draw liquidity. So unless CL is to create some structure here, and we can see a closure through that with displacement giving us a bullish change of state of delivery, then I'm going to remain bearish for the time being. And these are the levels that I'll be looking for price to draw to. Over to 6E, we've got the bias wrong here. That's okay. Let's have a look at the daily. Well, we just closed through that gap there yesterday, and we still haven't respected it. Look how close we opened to previous day high, and we swept. We didn't sweep it. So it was a strong move yesterday. I'm going to want to see price respect this 50% level for price to reach for previous day high. Let's have a look at the hourly. There's our 50% level from the daily. Change in state of delivery has been respected. Got our fibs from there. You can see this is a potential target area if price continues to move lower. We don't have a lot of displacement through this level. Well, in fact, there's no displacement through this level here. Through this price range. If we get another closure through these opposing candles, then I'll be looking for some respect to those opposing candles and then targeting these lows. So I am going to have a bearish bias today. If price finds support at this level right now, then we'll start to see price want to reach for previous day high. So that's that 50% level that I was talking about. At the moment, it's teetering right around that level. So we need to see a little bit more information. And that's okay. We don't enter the market just yet anyway. What's Dixie up to? Obviously, inversed assets. So we can see that 60 was up yesterday. Dixie was down. Now we've got this no wick to the downside, this devil's mark, if you will. Strong draw liquidity. Respect this 50% level of the previous day's range. and I am looking for price to move lower. If that's the case, then we can anticipate 6E to actually move higher. What does the hourly show us? You can see that there's no wick to the downside, and if we move lower, we can see we have these equal lows. So strong draw on liquidity here. That's where my eye is drawn to. Looking like we might close through this level with displacement, so we need to keep an eye on that. If this level supports price, we're going to see something like this. This, though, does stand out to me. We've got the gap to fill, plus we have these equal lows. But for now, price is displacing higher. We'll see how price reacts at this gap here. Need some more information. Need to see how price reacts at this level. All right, gold, what do we got? Look how close gold came to previous day low and didn't sweep it. We're still into that bullish FVG. We've got this low resistance liquidity here. Consolidation, that's all I see. This is just consolidation. If we have a look at the overall, this is our range. Our price is chopping around inside this range right now. This is last Wednesday's candle, and price has not been able to move beyond the extremes of that candle. This looks like low-hanging fruit to me. But price is getting held up here in this bullish FVG right now. I'm actually going to be neutral in gold. I'm going to see something decisive. I'm going to see price take out this low and then look to move higher. Or vice versa, you know? Or take out the low and then continue its move lower. There's plenty of low resistance liquidity for price to reach for down here. I think we continue higher, but I want to see this range swept first. All right, let's jump on over to GBP. Very strong move yesterday. Very strong move. The equal highs. This is very clear to me. If price respects 50% of the previous day's range, then I'm just going to anticipate price to reach back and continue to move higher. So I'm actually going to call bullish bias there. These equal highs, it's quite clear to see here, these smooth edges. They are starting to displace lower, but if we can find some support here, down in this region, or potentially down a little bit lower, coming down, and then potentially looking to move, a displacement through here, would validate this move higher. Or we could put in some new structure and do something like that. But certainly these smooth edges is where I'm looking for price to draw to today. Lastly, let's have a look at Bitcoin on the daily. Playing around on this bearish FEG right at this high here. We want to see a close above that level. Now, yesterday was a pretty good day, but we still couldn't close above this level, and we want to see that. Respecting 50% level of the previous day, and we haven't swept out the high of the day, previous day yet. So I do like Bitcoin for higher prices here. Want to see a close above these levels. Ideally, if we can get a close above this high here, all the better. Let's see some green. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. Greatly appreciate you all being here. Remember, you can grab your Tradeify and Apex evals. Tradeify Jimmy Trades is the code you want to use for 30 to 40% off. And 80% off still with Apex till the end of the month. Code Jimmy. Great opportunity to OSOC this week with non-farm payroll. So keep that in mind as we head to the end of the week and grab those evals. Take care, guys. We will catch you over in Trade Foundry. Bye for now.